early game is also going to be.
You don't even believe in the 5-man ball up, run at you strategy. That
I believe in that.
You do?
I'm all for the Kunkas.
We are running into an undying problem. Trust me.
I believe in. Comes from SK. I think this hero's like Bloodstone Eggs build late game is borderline unbeatable, which is why he's the highest rated offlaner and mid right now in pro level pubs. I get pubs are different. The damage is insane, and I think they've drafted in a way to make it work in competitive. They have the Sand King survive the BKB from the Windrunner, like you said, and then after that, the Sand King's going to do enough damage to wipe the floor with them if they can get there. And I'm confident in Falcons that they can.
You're saying an almost unbeatable thing. But at the start of this, you said, I don't know what beats Wind Ranger. So right now, I feel like I got two unbeatable things on different sides here. We'll see exactly who has the answers, who's able to take game number one. As we jump on into it with Aries and Danog.
Thank you, Nat. All right, Danog here. We heard what the panel had to say. A couple unbeatable things, one for Falcons and one for BB team. How do you feel about this? Who do you think actually has the most unbeatable hero and lineup to be able to get the advantage in this game one?
I mean, I'm just a big fan of the crit Hoodwink, to be honest. I think that goes a long way towards getting the victory. We saw the stats in terms of team v team matchups. What was it, a 78% win rate that Falcons has over BB team? That's pretty devastating to have to come back from that sort of a deficit. You know, over time, there are just teams that have each other's number all the way back in TI3 days, even when Alliance were having like their dominant period. Fnatic seemed to be able to get the W against them. It really feels like Falcons are kind of that way towards BBT.
Yeah, it's crazy because you take a look. I mean, they haven't lost this series. They've only tied in 2 best of 2s. That's it. So besides that, we've seen a Dream League Grand Final where they 3-0'd, and we saw the ESL 1 Birmingham Grand Finals where Falcon 3-0'd BB team. So this has to be, and eventually there's going to be that mental block there, and maybe at least again this is group stages, so maybe this is where BB team can find that victory over Falcons. At least again, it's only been ties so far, but maybe this time it could be the first 2-0.
Can we also just add to the level of spice as well that, remember, these two teams are, maybe. These two teams are 2-2 because of Team Zero's performance in their group, right? Team Zero are 3-1, I believe. I don't think they've played their next matchup yet. They've got nouns at the end of the day. So this becomes really important because you kind of want to be facing one of those bottom 2 teams in one of the other groups, right? Like, if it's a 1-1, you're going to a tiebreaker for sure. You want a clean 2-0 sweep.
Safe to be able to get that 2-0 sweep, or if tiebreakers will be forced out here from either side. Jenkins was speaking a lot about the Sand King in particular, with the damage output that this hero can get to the late game. How do you feel like teams and I guess other heroes are able to address him to stop the Sand King from getting there? What are kind of some of your favorite ways to address this hero?
Well, they were mentioning a bunch of different possibilities in the draft on the panel, which I agreed with, right? Like, just bully him from afar, make sure that he doesn't get off to that good start, because late game Sand King is just an absolute menace. You can't let him get to that stage. So really just I want to see a bunch of early-ish rotations. They've got a pretty decent hero in the Grimstroke to enable that sort of thing, like stuns on stuns on stuns. Not the tankiest hero to be able to begin with, but if you give him some time, he can certainly get out of control.
And what are one of the side lanes that you have your eyes on currently? Is there one you feel like there's going to be a lot of action? I mean, I know the panel was speaking about top being maybe a little bit frustrating for the Conquer, but the Hoodwink could offset that, being a strong laner. And then bottom, of course, Slardar, Grimstroke. They instantly said that this is a great combo between the two.
Yeah, I'd say the bottom lane is probably where there's going to be a little bit more action happening, just because of like early-ish timings on a bunch of stuff, right? Like, you see the Tusk, even when he hits to like level 3, you can make so much action happen, especially when considering we talked about the Luna last game, right? In what you're able to do with more points in the Lucent Beam. It just means that there's going to be a whole lot more harass going on.
Well, what has kind of changed as well with the drinking buddies? Because I know the tag team was still a facet that a lot of Tuts were going for, but over the past month or maybe even a little bit longer, we have seen that change.
I think it's just like that little bit of extra movement, right? Over the past couple of days, we've seen like people moved out of the way of like Marana arrows because of the drinking, but it's like a pseudo link like a pathway to blink, I guess you could say. You know, allows you to get into range for the snowball. And you know, when you're going these ranged heroes, especially like, you know, your Wind Ranger, your Marana, even Luna to a lesser extent. I love the panel suggestion of the gyrocopter as well. Drinking Buddies is OP. Like, you max that out, plus 95 damage that you're able to get.
See if that's going to be able to come into play for the Skeeter. Can find the damage that they need for them to get over the finish line. Pretty good start overall. We are seeing mid lane GPK is honestly demolishing Melrine. I'm 29 compared to the 12 and 1. So I think maybe it was Fear that brought up even the question of if the DK was actually going to be able to do enough to the Sand King. I can't remember if it was him or someone else, but it seems like it's a very good start. And maybe this is a reason why Melrine is forced to start to drag the wave.
Yeah, I think JPK has just been doing a phenomenal job in terms of just outplaying. You know, this is just getting tons of denies, tons of last hits, using the stun to perfection. And, yeah, securing a very nice start for him and his team.
And you got to be
doing a good staying far away as well. Toronto, Tokyo, I haven't really seen that much harass coming out against this. The change to having this Admiral's Rum as the innate is just nuts, right? Like every, 60 seconds, you basically are just taking 20% less damage. It's kind of silly, especially considering like the sort of stuff that you're building up into, right? The phase boots, so you have that extra movement speed plus the rum bonus speed as well. It's a lot to have to deal with, and you just need to be so committal. Should be a pretty standard build-up, right? Phase boots, one, maybe another bracer straight into the blade mail, so that if you do start to consider going on to this conquer, it's going to take a lot of energy and you're going to take a lot of damage going back the other way as a result.
Have you been a fan of like the scepter for the Conquer? I think we saw it yesterday in one of the games we covered. I haven't seen if that's been the build on other Conquers.
I'm a fan of it. I think it can be like, you know, fifth item. I certainly not as much as before when there was the Torrent Storm. It's Toronto, Tokyo. It's getting gone on a little bit here, but drop down the Tombstone for now. I'm seeing more like Octarine Core. Basically just enable yourself to start spamming things out, even just reducing the cooldown of that Admiral's Rum so that you can become just that little bit tankier for yourself.
You got to be so happy though. Again, the fact that you pick the Conquer early on, we see the Undying to try and counter it, but that's where Crit's hero was able to come into play. And maybe this is like a big reason why he went for the tree bounce trick shot as well on the Hoodwink, just to try and help secure the lane, because we have seen the other facet be buffed slightly over time. Where we're seeing it really be a really big assistance for Amar. I mean, 32 and 4.
He's doing a fantastic job as well, and like you said, it allows you to trade really well with the Undying, and you know, Toronto Tokyo being forced all the way back to base. Crit's just using that tree bounce trick shot onto Saksa whenever Conquer clears out the creep wave. There's some nice little synergy there with a Tiebringer, right? If there's no other creeps for it to be bouncing to, you're going to be going towards Psyker.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, what's going on? Is he the pro player with the most name changes? Epileptic kid? You started off as... Like, well, what is this?
Yeah.
Nightfall, yeah.
You know what? Some people are just obsessed with changing their name a lot of the time. I mean, you've even got Yatoro, who's now Radan, right? Which is it like something Dota all night? I think is what it actually stands for.
Opportunity for them to make it go on to him on the mid lane. Fire strike, it's not going to be able to keep him live. Snaking, nice attempt, but it's not going to matter. GPK will strike first. Cool attempt from Crit to try and drag the wave, but with the double slow, they will catch up to the Hoodwink. So it's going to be another kill for them to find. It does delay the tower push. I mean, the Elder Dragon form is out. He did use it with the Arcane Rune though on GPK, so it's going to be back up in 35 seconds, but at least you will stall the tower from going down.
I feel like that's going to be a really important thing, right? Like, you need to protect your towers. You've got this Wind Ranger that needs to be scaling. I mean, she's doing a fantastic job in the lane, right? But you just need to make sure that you're staying far ahead of this lineup that is going to have, you know, a bunch of these saves, a bunch of these, not necessarily auras, but there is a decent amount of damage reduction and just damage avoidance, I would probably say, a better term. Amar going for a bit of a solo kill here onto Toronto Tokyo.
Find it, maybe the power shot slow. Again, though, a trip back to base, or maybe even snipe from Skeeter. Is he going to be able to see him? TP out. Oh, he gets him. And number the Wind
Psycho.
Ranger's in some trouble. Yes, Psycho. And you got 3 heroes surrounding you. With 10 for the win run away.
He's dead.
Another one. Oh, Stay kicks here. Make it 4. Amar's going to clean up the kill, but the Conquer second net worth.
So you know what? You can rotate a bunch of people mid. We can rotate a bunch of people top. I think that's just as effective.
The solo kill to save the use the epicenter early on. Not enough to be able to bring down the Grimstroke. Oro strikes up if he's going to be able to find his target, but the K sent. Now GPK can continue to chase another Breathe Fire. Let's see if the damage is going to be enough. Might wait for the Dragon Tail. It's back up and available, but Melring just survives.
Ooh. Expecting that. The heroes up top, able to take out Amar. Just a good shackle, I think.
Dire's middle tower
All right.
is under attack.
Evening things out a little bit. The bounce back.
Bounce back team.
Oh, I've got plenty. I've done my research.
All right. To hear a couple more. Can you say the bounce back team though? You're putting the T first? I don't know.
It's fine.
It's fine. Okay. Let's hope they come out. You know, if they have a good game, maybe you got some if they have a bad game as well.
Can bounce back. Exactly. Very versatile.
No worry about potentially needing to bounce back. They're the ones playing from ahead. Nero might be in some danger. Of course, we see the beams maxed out. The Eclipse be required to get the
coming from
kill.
below.
They do save. Tower, you
Pincer.
TP. TP's going to be cancelled. We did Toronto, Tokyo. Oh, I'm scared. Okay. Never mind. Yeah, you got the reinforcements, but it potentially just gives more kills to Skeeter.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Like, where are you running? Shots back up. It's going to be a triple kill. I mean, we saw this last game. It wasn't 3 kills that the Luna got. But you got to respect the damage from this hero early.
They weren't tuning into the A stream. That is their big blunder team coming through there for that extra movement through. I mean, you see the damage output that's available on top of the Lucent Beam. It was the right idea, but yeah, Miro, I was wondering why he wasn't popping that healing salve as he was looking to try and go in for that sort of play.
Very close.
You see like all of this damage starting to come through, Staking, using the Drinking Buddies, giving plus 70 damage over to this Luna.
Radiant's
Consider
middle
like,
tower is under attack.
you know how quickly games can end when you've got a Luna. Right, as maybe able to catch GPK.
See if they're going to have the damage. Melring will be in with the epicenter. Skeeter's going to be here as well. So with GPK, 1700 health they have to go through. But the Dragon Knight, I mean, he destroyed Melring in the lane, but this Sand King has done a great job. He's got 86 last hits. The start was looking so poor. I'll hold that because bottom lane, it does look like 3 heroes. BB team are going to be able to at least find Snake King, but that is not the valuable kill they were wanting. And Snake will make him work for it.
Oh.
I think, no way. Are you serious?
Easy. That's why people are going Drinking Buddies. You can't do that shit with tag team.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
So GPK again does so well mid, and then you see he falls behind Melring, who now has got enough gold for Blink. They're the one that get the tier 1 tower mid first. I mean, Amar did get the deny, so it's kind of traded back and forth, but you would not expect that, especially into the DK matchup. And now they're already starting to move top as well. They've got the catapult wave, got Skitter nearby too, so a great start for them. Finally, they'll be able to get Snake King. With Psycho also moving down.
Unless
No,
he gets away. There was a creep wave right there. I was thinking, you know, this is maybe.
They need to bring GPK down to help with the tower. He is going to rotate down nonetheless. Do you defend this if you're Falcons?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I don't think they necessarily need to. Like, you need that epicenter for a big part of your team fight. Yeah, you've got the boat. Yeah, you've got all this sort of stuff. Maybe they'll, like, not TP too many in, but I feel like it's the sort of thing that you're not wanting to commit too many of your own just because they're going to be able to rotate to the other side of the map if you do that, right? And I feel like BB team are probably a little bit more greedy at this point, like a little bit more item dependent. You could do so much with Melring just through his item set, right? His skill set, rather. You can do a lot with just the Eclipse online. You can do a lot with just the boat online. You don't really need these
Dire's bottom tower
5
is
or
under
4 different
attack.
items to be able to get a lot of effectiveness. Very different story for the BB team.
Doesn't net worth lead, 12 minutes in. And we'll probably see the gang squad come out. Melring with the blink, Crit with the sharpshooter.
Good scan.
Scan will be on the mark from BB team. Great observe ward to try and use. Trying to defend their high ground, I should say. And afraid they're going to be able to get away.
Dire are scanning.
Look like Skitter's going to be able to farm all that much, although they get the jump here onto save. Very important target to be able to take out, and so in pretty quick fashion. I wonder how long they're going to stick around, because that drinking buddies is available
Dire's
once more.
middle tower is under
Might just
attack.
wait for the glyph to be forced out before
Dire's
committing it, though.
structures are fortified.
Go. This is what I like to see. You know, a lot more aggression. Make sure you're able to get in before a lot of these like more defensive items start to come out. Like we've been saying, the BB team is quite greedy with their heroes that they've got here. So, you know, if you can look to take away a lot of that map presence, if you can look to fight before they've got a lot of their key items, it's going to put you in a really good...
Vision early on with that kill is going to be really important thing for them. I believe they just smoked right
Wasn't
next to
under
the
it.
double observer. It wasn't?
Oh, the second one, maybe. The one to the south.
It's like they will give them enough time to get away, snaking, try and chase the toss down. But I mean, you see what they're getting across the map there. Maybe even thinking about coming through the portal is Crit and Melrin, so there actually might be a potential fight down bottom.
Got a decent amount of vision in this area. They want to make sure that they...
Can't
Wait a
run into
minute.
the
Oh,
high
don't
ground,
line
already
up.
set up a GPK. Jumps over the top with the Inkspell combination. Melring getting focused down currently. They should be able to deal with the Sand King. Drinking Buddy gets some distance away. Now with a turn. DK taking a lot of damage. X-Mark Amar's going to get the finishing blow with the Tidebringer, and back in they go. Psycho's here to try and turn the tides, but the use of the ultimate is a lot of AoE damage, and that's enough. Psycho, that's what they needed, with the Wind Ranger getting into the middle. Maelstrom damage tears them apart. Save
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
like it could have been a bit of a difficult fight for them, running into a choke point. They blinked first, got the initiation before Melring was able to jump in.
And that tombstone lasted for ages as well. It was a lot of damage being put through from there. And while that fight was happening, Skitter still had 20 seconds left on his TP, so wasn't able to join despite the fact that he had that amp damage rune. It would have been an entirely different story if he was part of that, not just because of the Lunar Blessing aura, but just the pure damage that would have been able to come out from that eclipse.
It's going to be, honestly, not a bad person to get a lot of gold as well from save. Instant Ag Shard picked up. And this is a potential Scepter game without a doubt versus the Lunar as well. So would you like to see him kind of rush it, or do you agree with the Glimmer Cape?
Other smoke caught out by this Observer Ward. They'd be able to set up around the high ground once again. This time around, Skitter's going to be there. Mars making sure not to make his move towards the jungle and make it a little bit too obvious. And I'm sure that's what communicating to the rest of his team. Nice wards that have yet to be dewarded at this point. Love is level 12 as well, but... The banner, who needs Roshan's banner? To push in. I mean, I don't hate this push by any means, right? They don't have a glyph.
Dire's
Again,
middle
looking to
tower
try and
is
take away a
under
lot of the map from the greedier BP team roster.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Get it?
Dire's middle tower
Fight to be
has
had.
fallen.
Just the vision game around the mid lane, giving them a lot of information from Falcons. I mean, they have 5 wards currently set up across the map. Now a tier 2 tower to add.
Kamara is pretty hell-bent on going for this Ags rush as well. I was wondering if he would consider going the Crimson Guard, especially considering the heroes that he's up against this game. Slardar feels like incredibly impactful, considering how much strength he's already got just from his innate gain plus the braces. Hunt for Miro here, but find him just yet. They're looking to try and get a quick pick off, and it's that to convert into Roshan. They should be able to take it very quickly, but
Dire's
dodging
top
out right
tower is
now.
under attack.
Team?
Do you agree with these towers going undefended for BB team?
This is what I'm talking about when I was talking about their greed, though, right? Like, they just can't fight into it right now. Got all of their tools to be able to take effective team fights now on Falcons, but you need these BKBs, BB team, to be able to even consider contesting. Very close on all three of their cores, probably only about 1,000-ish gold away on each of them, but again, it's still a good amount of time away, so going to be able to do anything for at least the next.
So did you just walk into Roshan? Do you feel Falcons? If there's BB team have showcased they do not want to take fights, you're just looking towards the pit?
You could potentially do that, or you could just look to get even more aggressive, right? Just force a fight. Say, hey, BB team, if you don't have the capabilities to do so, if you're not defending tier 2 towers, it's for a reason. You know, do you want to just go and take Roshan, which might take you, let's say, a minute? If that gives them time to be able to get into these timings where the Aegis isn't actually going to be fully beneficial.
They are continuing.
Hanging behind GPK. That extra little bit of save himself with, you mentioned the Aghanim shard on the Inkswell.
Blink away.
Is in
vision. Yeah, they got him. Nighttime vision from Skeeter. Going to be able to scout up the Dragon Knight. And the kill they were waiting for is onto a big one. And yeah, they're going to go straight across the map. They've still got these wards. The one behind the tier 2 tower is still up for another 30 seconds. Maybe a kill to be had on to save.
Mallory's got a haste rune as well. They know that save is hanging around this area. I'm not sure if that's the target that they want, or if they're going to be happy in saying, look, he has the potential to be a big part of their win condition, so let's just take him out while we can. It's that haste that I was talking about, hunting for more. You just, BB team thinking that they've got a certain amount of time to be able to make the save. Blind stun, not quite.
But maybe now, unless they want to go through the portal, maybe now they feel like the kills gives them enough of a window to go into Roshan, especially with pushing BB team back into their side of the map. So with how long it might take, you're not going to be able to get that much of an economic advantage by all the farm. I mean, they're even going to use the boat as well to help out a little bit.
With the cannonballs, don't forget.
I mean, you see how scared they are at the moment. No one showing the BB team, just a couple people inside the base and just huddled up together.
You see what they're able to do, right? In that time, you've got now a BKB on Miero, you've got a BKB on Psycho. Still working on it for GPK. Obviously, that death, they didn't buy up the recipe previously, so used all of that. It's about 200 gold as a result of it. To lay it out a little bit further, still feeling confident enough to be able to take the fight, especially with this amp damage rune that Psycho's just...
And they did scan the move through the portal, so they're already starting to move to bottom. Currently, Melreen is not with the team. They're going to be forced to jump him, however.
Skidder found him.
Pops the smoke. Let's see if they're going to be able to catch up. We'll try and go through, but that's not the case. He needs to stand his ground. But there's the BKB coming to play. The Eclipse completely wasted. And are they going to be in a position where they need to take the team fight? Skeeter, there's nothing he can do to stand his ground off the back of the respawn. Amar's going to try and run to the middle. Melreen's coming through the portal as well. Gets the Burrow Strike onto 2. It's a lot of damage onto Psycho with the Wind Ranger. Tries to get over to the right side. Psycho is able to reposition. They'll keep him alive momentarily. And now Melreen and Amar, they are stuck inside the middle. It's another team fight with a Tombstone going the max duration. Gritty's about to respawn. Amar standing strong. GPK looking to try and jump over the top. Amar's going to solo kill Toronto Tokyo down, but has he got the damage by himself? Toronto Tokyo steps into the tree line. Amar, I mean, he's making the play for, man. This dude is so hard to kill, but he might even get Miero as well. The torrent, it's just shy. Miero steps away to the right side. They scouted out Melreen inside the lane, but GPK just off the mark with the blink, and a very messy team fight, but it does look like it's going to go the way of BB team, even though Falcons had the Aegis advantage.
This is what I'm talking about, right, though? Like, just that amount of time where you're not pushing your advantage when you know that they can't fight. A BKB on Miero completely turned that around. You know, if he's not there, you don't have the damage to be able to take out Skidder twice. You don't have the damage to be able to even kill the Kunkka at the very end. You saw how tanky that Amar was throughout all of that, so... Again, it just comes down to that decision of what was actually worthwhile. Is it worth spending that amount of time, even dropping the boat, to be able to take Roshan quickly if it meant they were able to hit into these item timings? And off the back of that, now GPK's got his BKB too.
Didn't die in that fight. 1,300 gold picked up for the Dragon Knight. But there's on Sanjin Yasha being queued up. So You're now in a position where you can go back and find the Tormentor. I mean, experience is also incredibly valuable. The fact that Miero has 2 points in the Corrosive Haze. It's going to be shards on either side. Toronto Tokyo is going to be able to get his own. So you have the bunker and the tombstone. Crit is also able to get the boomerang for the hoodwink.
What name was it called? Bunker in? It's not grab ally anymore?
I think it's still... I don't know. It just says... So, I don't know.
Finish up a pipe, I think. Toronto, Tokyo, just a gold away from that Ring of Tarask, which is going to be very, very from the Sand King.
Are we now at the stage where the tides kind of turn into BB Team's favor, where you have the BKBs and you're still without the Crimson Guard on Amar?
Bounce back team yet? No, I would say so, just because, again, they've hit these timings. They've got a big one in the pipe now as well. You're getting a bunch of levels as well, unlike Grimstroke, so you've even got a lower Inkswell cooldown. You could probably get 2 off in a lot of these fights. Psycho, he's even with it.
Oh, they're going to be able to get start before the Sand King starts, and look at the damage output with the drag back into the snowball. It'll buy him some time.
No BKB.
And the team is going to be able to turn it around. Skeeter drops the Eclipse, but Psyche is into the middle with a Ring Ranger. AoE damage. They're not going to be able to respond. Psyche will get rid of Melry. Now they'll turn to Amar. We saw how tanky Amar was previously, but that's not going to be the case inside this team fight. Torrent on his dying breath. Maybe
glaives,
gives
though.
Skeeter an opportunity to turn it with the glaives from Skeeter. They'll go for Toronto Tokyo next. And what was looking like a good start for BB Team, we see the power of Skeeter along with Snake King's drinking buddies.
Anyone that's watched Star Wars knows that a high ground advantage means everything, and they had it. They had the Observer Ward up there on the high ground. They had that mischance that anyone that was looking to go up into it was not going to get the advantage, and it was a really nice use of the drinking buddies as well from Snake King, just to give that little bit of a reprieve when they were looking to try and commit that little bit deeper into the team fight. So, I mean, it was that on top of the fact that GPK wasn't able to pop the BKB until he was at like 20%, so he was pretty much just dead at that point. Maybe a slight difference with Save holding the Inkswell a little bit longer, just for that strong dispel could have been a difference.
And they are continuing to push it very aggressively out of the map though on Falcons. Your mid shoved out, top shoved out, taking away a lot of the jungle farm as well from BB Team. Making to be a very exciting mid to late game as well. 15 to 15, 2,000 net worth lead for Falcons.
It's been scary though. Like, it really does feel like a lot of these team fights can just go either way. It really depends on the start to a lot of these engagements, and even just really good micro movements there from Skidder with his illusions, revealing the fact that you had 5 BB team members clumping up, the best buddies squad coming through there, and you don't do that unless you're looking to try and make a smoke in the next little bit, or if you're anticipating a smoke to come from the enemy team. That's why they placed down the defensive observer ward, and they were ready to go, but clearly Falcons not feeling confident enough to walk up into that until they feel like they might have dispersed. Now the smoke comes, they're looking to try and find that quick pickoff.
All grouped together though on BB Team. Melring gets a jump over the top, so they'll initiate onto 2 members simultaneously. Psycho, the BKB into the TP out, very close to getting the punch.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay. Use the BKB though to be able to defend that, so I wonder if that's going to be enough for them to just say, you know what, we can just look to commit into these fights. You also got a shield room from Melrine as well, so it's already really hard to kill a Sand King. Yeah, he doesn't necessarily have much in the form of spell lifesteal yet.
Double stun from Miro with the jump in as well.
What are they doing
Was it the ready of Snake King's going to be able to get close to Skidder to protect him? Melrine with the counter initiation as well, creating chaos inside the middle of the team fight. The epicenter's going to force them away, so they won't be able to continue to chase and kill off the Falcon members.
No BKB.
I mean, they made the attempt, but Falcons, they were ready, everyone nearby, to jump back in to protect Skeeter. And it's going to cost them multiple heroes' lives as Crit is now a vulnerable hero. As BB Team are able to buy back, but Skeeter going uncontested. Locks onto Miero. Can they get a little bit of control, though? Tries to step away with the gun on the cape, but looks like he's okay, but Save puts his body on the line, so... another kind of messy fight. 3 for 3, no real big winners.
Yeah, big even trade when it comes down to it. And I was thinking, Falcons, they're a little bit deep there, especially considering, if they weren't going for a smoke, it's probably because of that defensive setup. So they should have known that they had that vision up on the high ground, but being able to get out of dodge there with a pretty quick rotation coming through from Snake King to be able to provide a lot of safety to the rest of the team. Just see all the damage coming out, though. There was 8,000 damage done by Luna in the past fight, and that was pre-Kanda at that stage. Maybe he had it at that point, but pre-level 20 for sure. Now he's going to look to work on just a little bit of that defensive tools like the Lincolns to make sure that you're not getting Blink Shackle shotted, Blink Dragon tailed, all this other sort of stuff that's going to put him in a dangerous spot and make sure that he doesn't have that Lunar Orbit active. So much potential for scaling as well for Skitter, isn't there? He could go a BKB, he could go a Satanic, maybe not the Butterfly, considering Wind Ranger could just very easily go the MKB, but still very, very scary to have to consider the super late game.
BB team
High ground again.
again. There's no pop, but I believe they saw the Observer get dropped down, so they're going to be able to reposition accordingly. Starting to huddle together as 5, so Falcons are ready to bring the fight to the Smoke team on Dial.
This is the Roche fight. Like, whoever wins this one will be able to secure Roshan the second one for themselves and enable
not the illusion
high ground siege. They won't take it. Oh, yes, they will.
The awkward ward too. Okay.
Valorine. Straight back
Force
out.
some reactions. Poke and prod. See if they can see some of the supports in the backline. Maybe give an opportunity. GPK wants to go back in. Nice force up. Just gets out of the crush range. They're going to be okay. Tombstone is laid down in the middle of the team fight as well. It's going to give BB Team a little bit of area control, but Fronto Toko stuck inside the shards, and it doesn't seem like there's much Dai can do to protect him. He's making it work for the kill. GPK still wants to go back into the middle with a jump up the crit, trying to deal with the
Blew him up.
They're onto Skeeter as well. Skeeter, he's able to stand his ground. Dyer need to try and get over towards the Luna, but the Luna's just got way too much net worth. Finally, they'll be able to run her away. Zyker and Co standing strong. It looks like finally BB Team might even be able to get another member to Amar stuck inside the trees. That great use of the Observer Ward prior will come into play now, so they'll get a kill onto the trying to escape on the Conqueror Amar.
Hold on, you were hating that ward a little while ago. You called it off.
Come on, dude.
Got it.
It was exactly as planned. Exactly as planned. I was a little anxious about Falcons continuing to try and go for that poke and prod strategy, because at that point Skitter was like level 19 and a half. If he's level 20, that's a very different deal, right? You can just use those loosened far. You can look to try and, get those glaives bouncing around, reveal a little bit of information about where they might be hanging around in the tree line, and they were able to just absolutely explode Malrine in that engagement.
They're coming. Dave's going to see the hoodwink. Maybe you want to, let's see, if you go for Roche or commit for the fight, Skitter should be able to get the quick burst onto Toronto Tokyo. Pipe's going to be activated, Aegis claim, and they'll probably just look to get up, but the snowball will prevent that. Psyker's going to be chased down. And have you left the Wind Ranger? Snake King's going to be able to deal with him, and now you're set up off the back of the respawn. They are huddling together, surrounding her off the back of the Aegis, and Psyker's going to go down. A beyond godlike streak for Skitter. I mean, this is a 15-1-3 Luna performance, 31 minutes in.
Very scary. Like, you've just committed a lot for the Aegis without having buyback on the Wind Ranger as well. And saying it, you're going up against a Luna. You've got to be very, very careful about where you're taking a lot of these fights, because I'm not sure if it's being overly dramatic, but this might be an actual lane of racks that you're going to be down as a result of this. You are putting so much of your damage onto the back of the Wind Ranger, and she is in the dirt for the next 35.
And after that as well, Amar made an attempt on Tamir at the top side, and he had to use BKB to get away from the boat. So now this is kind of on cooldown, which gives you another bit, a slight advantage for Falcons.
Rushing up to the rest of the team as well. Came through the twin gates, so it won't be too long until he's able to join the rest of the boys. They actually do go for the melee. It's going to obviously give them that Rax glyph reset, but well worth it.
Dyer's bottom barracks has fallen.
Big part of the Luna, dude. We've seen it happen time and time again. Just one bad team fight, and this is what happens to your base.
Still going to stick around the area. To leave just yet. Tormentor is up if they want to try and claim it. Team is starting to move down. I don't know if this is just for the creep wave though. Creeps in. Yep. Tormentor's going to go. Shard given over to Snaking. So this game is kind of blown open now. 10,000 net worth lead for Falcons. Set of items starting to be worked on. We're almost at that Bloodstone.
That's the scary thing. You get the increased rate, everything just with the Bloodstone itself. You get the lifesteal component as well. He's hit up onto that level 20, so these epicenters just cover a huge portion of these team fights. Nowhere is safe.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Now as well. Looks like Amar's going to be the one to get it.
Oh no.
Mine, Melrin, apologies.
They look to get his Tormentor up. Yeah, I'm seeing a Tormentor just be able to get a free Aghanim Shard for probably Kunkka you would be the happiest with. Bad for the Sand King either, right? Quickly they're able to just explode it.
Get it for the Sand King. So Melrin has the Shard. Bloodstone into the Wind Waker. He's even got the Ceremonial Robe as well. So scary times for BB team. How do you even address these fights? Like, who is that main person they need to try and bring down for the side of Dire?
Oh, it's really hard to say, to be honest. I think you got to try and get onto Melrin again before he's able to pop everything. If you enable him to be that counter initiation or even start the team fight on his own, he's going to have the Shivas. He's going to have the Bloodstone. He's going to have all of that lifesteal coming through out of the equation. Out at this point. Pretty much double Malrin's health.
Health.
Zamara's bait.
Be satanic.
Very tanky.
Smoke's gonna pop, they'll get the jump. Not a bad target to blow up instantly. Melrin is
they
with
found
initiation, but it's not the greatest one for him to land in the middle. Look at the damage. Psyker flexing the potential here with the focus fire, but they have blown everything and they have nothing left now to deal with Skidder. He'll get Toronto Tokyo. They wanted to actually go back in. Is this a fight to be had? Tombstone's still there on the high ground. Zarn's going to be able to prevent the spells from being used on the task, and still they're going to be able to turn it back around. Psyker in some danger with the Gleipnir. Gets some reprieve. Save turns over to him next as well. GPK continuing to put his body on the line.
Gem on the deck.
Another round of the spell is coming out. GPK will need the extra assistance out of Psyker. It's not going to latch, but now with the focus fire back up, it's going to be cautious to run.
He just blade-mailed himself.
Damage from Amar. Along should be enough to be able to chase down GPK. Amar might be able to do it by himself. A little bit off the mark there with the combo. Didn't go for the action. The torrent in the end is not going to matter. He kind of makes that fight not too bad for the boys on Falcons.
Dude, more than half of the damage that Psyker just took was from purely the blade mail on Amar. Like, it's crazy how much this is actually doing. And yeah, I mean, the boat is certainly coming in handy, providing a lot of extra safety, putting Amar up on the front lines. I mean, look how tanky the man is. Nearly 4k HP. He's got the craggy coat as his neutral item as well. He just wants to be able to tank up and force BB team to expend everything that they've got. You saw how effective they were in that, you know, 5 to 10 seconds, but once that's done, they've got very little left.
Fight back again. Great target to be able to blow up. I mean, you get rid of the hoodwink, offers you some burst potentially with the sharpshooter if that connects, and yeah, it's just you're gone. But
you see, look at the full retreat.
Skeeter.
The full retreat. Like, the BKBs have like 2-3 seconds left. They're like, let's get the hell out of there. And maybe they were thinking that they could continue fighting around this tombstone, understandably, because Psyker is still incredibly.
I have to go back live. GPK picking up their damage, going to be able to jump the Snake King task. Another pick off into a support. Just stuff you were saying, like, this are the heroes that BB team want to be jumping.
I mean, yeah, if they can get crit or snaking without having to use the BKB, that is the dream, right? You can force an uneven fight, and then you can still save those things for, you know, the actual heroes that you're looking to try and take out. I'd say Melrin's probably well worth committing a BKB for as well, just because of his potential damage output.
Crazy.
Now you've got an additional, what, 12 armor from the Dragon's Blood, level 25 on the DK. Considering if he would go like an AoE, well, wouldn't be the worst by any stretch. And especially considering only have a BKB on the Luna, right? So
Radiant's
something
bottom
that's
tower is under attack.
dodgeable.
And poor save is just getting no farm at all. You brought up the question earlier if you would just like a rush for Scepter. He went Blink, Limit Cape. Would you prefer the Scepter instead of these two items?
No, not necessarily. I feel like they do have enough potential to be able to like dive in onto you, and you've seen that Falcons have no issues with committing heavily into the middle of a team fight, right? So most of the time they're going to go for like some blind stun him. So I feel like it's really important that he stays that far back so that just doesn't try and do anything farm here in the jungle, but he's so cautious of how long you actually around.
I didn't just check who got the quotas.
Iron Shell just wants to live as long as possible.
I was just checking who got the gold for the kill into the Luna. Is it DK? Probably a big reason why he just that Bloodthorn and jump towards the Satanic as well. What's the probability? Sitting at 62% for Falcons currently, and we do have the potential of Roche to be up in a couple of seconds. We'll see if it's a long spawn. It's a relatively quick one, 55 seconds.
Even with all this damage, though, it shouldn't be a fight that's contested up. It should be moving down towards the bottom side. So it comes down to one of these things where do you actually guess the fact? Like, do you play the probability, play the odds as to, you know, we need to take the fight down bottom because it's much more likely to be down there. Do you just set yourself up early, or is it about just slowly walking out and trying to find a pick-off before the Roche fight even happens?
Are looking to come out and maybe set themselves up.
He's got the Ceaseless Dirge available, so knows that he'll have that instant respawn and be able to TP to the outpost if he absolutely to.
It's like maybe they made the call to go bottom.
Yeah. Like, that bottom lane is also pushing in a little too much for GPK's liking. He's going to look to try and address that. They're going to be right there as it respawns as well. Now they see it. Are they going to commit for it? They've got 15 seconds to be able to take this out, and I'm not sure they've got the ability. Yeah. Rather set up here. They should see that they've got the gem on the Undying as well, so there's no real point in setting up wards in the lane. That's why Snake King's getting this high ground ward set up first. Formation is actually pretty decent. I mean, Skiller is tanky as hell, and he's got the boys to be able to save him.
A lot of the time it's been BB team to start these initiations.
Toronto Tokyo briefly. Up around. Watcher. Quickly claim it, just taking away any sort of vision. At this stage, information wins team fights. Take out that Grimstroke if they can. There's the blind jump.
Fire strike onto two. Importantly, it's going to be the Wind Ranger as well. Can they blow up? Okay. Hopefully he's got a buyback, which he does. 25 seconds they need to the Wind Rangers back alive. GPK is going to try and
they found save again.
A couple seconds, but that's an instant dieback, and they've also got the catch on the GPK as well. So It's going to be Falcons that take game one. It took quite a while, but what a performance from Skeeter. 20 and 2 from this Luna. That is just an exceptional showing from him. Of course, everyone else, played their role. A couple of saves multiple times from Snaking as well with, the drinking buddy and the snowballs, but what a showing from the position one on Falcons.
Yeah, I really want to highlight that first 20 minutes, though. The fact that they were able to identify